This is Ronnie with the Birch's Edge. I want to do a little video about lawnmower blades and sharpening them. And this isn't just for sharpeners, people for home too. I personally use a BG 121 grinder. The wheel is recessed into the deck. You loosen them two bolts and you can raise and lower it, and that's what gives you the angle on your blade. You can use a belt sander, you can use a hand grinder, you can use a bench grinder. I personally do not recommend this. This is the stone you put on a drill, and it takes forever. I mean, you might take a residential blade that's really thin and keep it sharp with one of these, but as far as sharpening a dull blade that's blunt like your pinky, I want to talk about that too. I see a lot of people on here, they say, oh, I use a file. You can keep a blade sharp with a file, but as far as sharpening one that's blunt, this one's not too bad. So it's not going to take a whole lot to sharpen this. But when they get blunt, these are my personal blades. This is a commercial lawnmower. It's only a 40-inch, but it's a commercial lawnmower blade, and it's really thick. But once it gets blunt like that, that's not going to get it. They have grinders like this that's recessed in the wheel and into the deck. And sometimes I use a belt sander. I use the belt sander on the mulching blades because they got that. This will not fit in my machine. But this is a residential blade too. It's thin. Way, way, way thinner than this blade here. This is thick, this is thin. So yes, you can keep these sharp with a file. And you can, I'm not saying you can't sharpen with a file. I'm talking about time-wise. It takes forever with a file. You can use a belt sander on the ones that's not too bad. You can use a belt sander with 80 grit or 60 grit on one that's really bad. These are pricey. They're $800 and up. You can get a Vevor machine for like $250 with sanding disc on it, a disc on each side. But it's just like sandpaper. It's going to wear off and then it's going to be gone. You can use a floppy disc and it takes a little bit longer. Me personally, I like these because it gives you the same angle every time. And that blade is better than new. It's sharp as a razor. Talk about balancing and losing the temper. Some people say that you lose the temper when you sharpen on the grinder like this. It turns the edge purple and then we grind it off. Me personally, I had a lawn service for a few years. I've sharpened over 500 blades with this machine here alone. I can't tell you how many of my personal blades I've sharpened. I've never had an issue. Like when this edge is purple, it's hard as a rock. To me, personally, it's not losing temper like people say. I don't know if you've ever drilled into a piece of metal and turned it purple. And once you turn it purple, you can't hardly drill into it. I'm not comparing this to a knife. Yes, we lose temper on a knife if you get it too hot. But do I think it's hurting this blade? No, I don't. If it was not for the customer, oh, you purpled my blade, I'd leave that edge purple all the way down there. And me, on my lawnmower, if you leave it purple on there, it lasts way longer. Because it's hard. Yeah, it'll chip off, but it is hard. As far as balancing a blade, I'll use this blade as an example. My personal blade is wore down pretty good. We have rocks and sand here. I don't balance my blades. Have I ever had a problem with a spindle? No, I have not. This blade is turning so fast. As soon as you hit dirt, rocks, and all, you can see how it gets wavy and all. And it's not exactly the same on this side. So if you hung that on a nail right now, it's not balanced and it's running on your lawnmower already. And you could take a brand new blade out of the pack and hang it up, and sometimes it's not balanced. And to help some people out, I've had a lot of people, and yeah, I get paid to do it, so not complaining. But I had some people bring me brand new blades, and they say, oh, I got a brand new blade and it's not sharp. It's pretty sharp. A lot of that's just a thick coat of paint on the outside of it. And the only part of that blade is the first inch of that blade that's really cutting the grass. You can tell how wore out these blades are. Right here, it's almost still the same sharp, and just this very tip wore out. But as far as balancing them, yeah, if it was really out of whack, it might shake your spindle and wear it out or cause the bearings to go bad. But if you sharpen this side and this side the same, I don't see where you'd have an issue. I've never had one myself. But there is a difference in a commercial blade and a residential blade. You could take a residential blade and it'd be dull and still cut grass better than a commercial blade because of the thickness. The thicker the blade, the blunter it'd be like a pinky. Even when this blade, it's in a wrapper so it's hard to tell, but even when this blade is dull, it's still sharper than this blade because it's thin. Is it easier to sharpen a thinner blade? Yeah, same as a knife. Me personally, I charge $5 a lawnmower blade. Don't matter what size they are, I charge $5. You go to a lawnmower shop, it's $7 to $8 around here in my area. I do $5 a piece because it's not like a knife. You're not having to make it perfect. There's not a whole lot to mess up. But like I said, when you do these blades, I have to use a belt sander or a grinder. You can sharpen this tip right here on this machine. So this isn't perfect for all machines. I mean, all blades. But it is my preference. And yeah, you could pull a belt sander out and turn it upside down, or well, it depends on which way your belt sander is, and sharpen it just the same. And like I say, I never knock any other company. It's just the file. That one person said, oh, I use the file, I never use a machine like this. Man, I don't know. I'm a busy person. I have stuff to do every single day. And there's no way I have enough time. If somebody brings, a lawnmower service brings me 30 plus blades, there's no way to sharpen 30 plus blades with a file. I mean, it takes me a long time with this machine right here. But this, I'm not knocking the company that makes it. Does it have a use? Yes. It'll keep a thin blade sharp if you keep it sharp. But is it going to sharpen a blunt blade like this? You'll burn your drill up to me before you ever sharpen it like that. But I don't knock no other businesses or anything like that. How you sharpen your lawnmower blades that's on you. This is my preference. I do recommend it. This machine is $800. I think I paid. I got a really good deal on it. A guy was going out of business. I think I paid $150 for it, like 5 to 6 years ago. And he had used it like for his lawnmower service before I ever bought it from him, and it still runs. So I've been using it for 5 years, and ain't no telling how long he used it before that, and it still runs like new. The ruby wheel, it's just like the green wheel for carbide blade, carbide sharpening. It's not supposed to get the metal as hot, but yeah, it will turn the edge of a blade purple. But you just hit it with another pass, and it comes right off. On sharpening, you know, it's just like knives. Everybody's got their own way. You find which one's best for you. I'm set up in an ambulance and I'm a mobile guy. I don't do this at the farmer's market because it does take longer than doing knives, and it throws out some sparks, and I don't want those sparks out to customers. But it is part of a business. If you're doing sharpening, just like if you're sharpening hair shears, you need a clipper blade machine. I haven't got that far into scissors and clipper blades yet, but I do have the equipment. But if you're sharpening garden tools and stuff like that, you need some kind of lawnmower blade sharpener. You can use a bench grinder, but I'd be more worried about getting the angle the same on every blade than I would about being balanced. I mean, when I give this to a customer, it looks like a brand new blade. And yeah, we wear the end and round it down, you know, wearing it, cutting grass over the time. But I live in South Mississippi and we got a lot of sand, and you could dull a blade in a day. So yeah, we go through a lot of blades here on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi down here. Well, y'all have a good day, and if this helps you out, I hope it does. But like I say, if you want to go with a hand grinder or bench grinder or a file or this, I guarantee it's going to be way longer sharpening than it will a machine kind of like this. Y'all have a good day.